Anyway, let's talk about your latest fight.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, mate?
What's that, mate?
What's your thoughts on your latest fight? Your battle?
Yeah,
with...
my thoughts were. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. So I think we're all expecting a bit of a different fight. We're expecting a bit of a rough and ready sort of, from the get go, a bit of a massive scrap. But I just kept it rangy, stayed patient, stayed calm, and got the job done fashionably. Really, I didn't really get hurt. And this is no disrespect to Tony. I just played to my strengths and played to his weaknesses. So the guy's an animal. He took some big shots as well, and for him to only go down once, I can only give him massive respect. So,
was that your tactics going into the fight, to fight a controlled fight rather than go to war?
Yeah, because I'm always used to. I mean, I did box against James Kennelly, but when it comes to like Chazai, when it comes to Chazai's, and it comes to the likes of, I mean, in the Kazakhstan, I kind of boxed, I didn't really go into a brawl, but the rest of the fights have always been a bit more of a brawl. And I thought, well, I need to start thinking on my feet and using my boxing skill instead of being, just that stand to and throw sort of guy.
Was that difficult for somebody like yourself, who you're a natural scrapper? I know you love to fight.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to maintain your discipline?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I can box, but I like to fight. Just like, there's a lot of fighters out there that have that fight in the back and a bit of a backup. So when you can box, but you like to have a good fucking tear up and entertain the crowd, then you can't help but do that. So when you start hearing the crowd go wild, you just think, yeah, let's get in there. But I was listening to the crowd, and then I was listening to my cornerman, Porrick. Porrick was saying to me, take your time, stay steady, Don't go rushing, and then they're like, to the body, to the head, and I'll be like, yeah, I can do that, man. I don't need to be fucking throwing myself all over and then getting in the mix of it. And every time I did get close to him, I worked on the inside, head body, and then moved out again on an angle. So it worked brilliantly. It was fantastic.
Do you think those tactics surprised Tony?
Yeah, definitely. I spoke to Tony afterwards. We actually had a FaceTime that night after the fight. I was back in the Radisson Blue, and I gave him a little FaceTime, made sure he was okay. I'm the sort of guy that wants to make sure that he's getting home okay and he's healthy. We're there to fight and entertain and compete against each other, but we don't want no real damage to be permanent. We want to make sure that we're okay. I want to see Tony in there again. After all, you know what I mean. I don't want to see Tony in there, but I think the fight for Tony was, he knew that if he got into a scrap, seeing that I can scrap myself, that it was going to be difficult for him. And I think he wanted to show people that he could box as well, and he did box. But I've boxed. I think I've boxed a bit longer than Tony. I've got a bit more experience, and it showed on the night.
Do you think that you were still improving as a BKB fighter, and also adapting your style to the best of you?
Yeah, 100%, mate. I mean, the guys I'm sparring with at the moment, they're all boxers mainly. You don't really get to spar with many BKB fighters. And to spar with a BKB fighter, you can't really spar as a BKB fighter, can you? Because you need gloves on unless you're going to go to war and take each other's heads off. So to practice to fight BKB is really, really hard to do. You get the experience while you're in there, really. You can't do it out in the ring. I mean, you can do all the movements and stuff, but I mean, even putting your gloves up in sparring, it's not realistic, is it? Because, well, let's be honest, you've got the padding there, you've got the protection there, and the shots don't go through as easy. So it's hard to replicate that fight.
Yeah, and one thing about this particular contest, which it had a bit of media attention and just added a little bit of extra spice to it. You're both former soldiers.
Yeah.
Yourself and Tony Lafferty, and you both had your berets on in the ring before the contest. I mean, that's attracted a little bit of criticism, which I personally think is unfounded, because as a former soldier myself, I'm pretty sure if one of my mates was up there in a regimental beret or a squadron beret fighting, we'd be so proud of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you respond to that criticism?
Well, I've spoke to some of the guys who are from over in Afghan at the moment, who I actually served with, who are now sergeants and full screws and other ranks, and some of the guys back in the barracks in Catterick. I've been to see them and had a good chat with them. And they were all buzzing when I said I was going to get my berry on and go out there. You know, they were absolutely proud. And then I've got photos from Afghanistan which have yet to be put through security for the OPSEC. And as soon as they're able to get put out, they'll be published. But there's guys out there that I've never even served with, but they're in my battalion, in my former battalion, who are going through the same stuff I've been through in the past. Were actually fans of mine, but first and foremost, the brothers, regardless if I've actually served side by side with them or not. And they're proud. They're really proud of it. They're all wearing my t-shirts in the gym over there. You know, they're getting these pictures, getting the pictures for a guy they've never even met before. You know, some of them, and for them, it's a big thing. So to be able to put a smile on their faces and for them to know that I'm representing them boys, I think's a massive respectful sort of gesture.
Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine any squaddy being upset or anything for you wearing your regimental beret. All I can imagine some politicians using it to try to gain a bit of political.
Yeah, I mean, we purely did it because it was the right thing to do at the time. Me and Tony agreed. We do speak to each other anyway. We didn't speak so much before the fight because I've decided that my new tactics are not to be talking to people before I fight them because that I just don't seem to be as focused. So me and Tony didn't speak as much. But what we did say is we'll both wear our regimental berets and we would represent the people that we've served with and that are now serving that we haven't served with, but we are still very respectful of. And I think that worked out brilliant, and not for media attention for us, but more for them. You know, I mean. We were representing our battalions, but the army in general, not just the people we have served with, but the people that are serving in the different corps and different regiments.
Yeah, of course. I think maybe people who haven't served in the British Army don't realise how almost tribal it is and how the regiment, there's so much pride in everyone's regiment.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, just to even spend a day with the boys and then leave it would be hard because I mean I spent a lot of years with the lads, and the thing I miss the most about the army is the banter and the camaraderie. You know, you are like brothers. You sleep inside of each other. You shit inside of each other. You're eating. You're going out drinking into towns and watching each other's backs. You know, you can't really get much more of a brotherhood than you know being a soldier and having a soldier at the side of you. So
yeah. So moving on, where's next for you, mate?
So yeah, the next fight is against Herbert Gibbons. He comes from an MMA background, and it's on the 25th of January. Once again, it's going to be, I think, a bit of a corker of a fight, but at the same time, and I'm not looking past him, but I'm more confident than I've ever been in my game. I just feel that, you know, I've come on a lot, and I've got so much more to show and prove yet. And I'm sparring with some really good fighters, boxers. At the moment at the gym in the Golden team, and all I can say is, you know, good luck to the guy because he's going to need it, I think. And that's not being overconfident. It's just me being very confident about myself, not about him not being able to box as such. I just don't think he's got that boxing ability to be able to keep up now. So,
do you think guys coming from an MMA background are at an automatic disadvantage because they are used to using their feet as well as their hands, whereas BKB is not the same as glove boxing, but it is a lot more similar with the stand-up?
So, it all depends, really. I mean, look at Ricardo Franco. He's come from an MMA background, so you know, we can't discredit anybody that comes from an MMA background. But you got to understand that Ricardo Franco's had 5 or 6 fights now, 6 fights unbeaten. But in every single fight, you've seen his progression. Whereas this is Herbert Gibbons' second BKB fight. Now I don't know what sort of experience he's got, gloved or ungloved, before this, but he certainly didn't seem to shine through on the fight with Mark Rawls. I think Mark Rawls was pretty weak in that fight, and I think that Mark Rawls stood with his back against the ropes, and he kind of defended himself like he had gloves on, which you can't do in this game. You've got to move off from angles. You can't stay in the pocket too long. If you do stay in the pocket, you've got to be working and be busy, and he did none of that. So I see how Mark got beat, and the fact that obviously Herbert Gibbons was using, you know, the can opener, the tin opener approach, which is obviously not a legal move in BKB. So he got away with that for a while, and I think that's the thing that did the damage initially, and that's the thing that actually stopped the fight. So, you know, if he comes at me with that sort of approach, then he's going to struggle, because I'm not going to stay in the pocket, and I'm not going to be standing there being lazy or expecting to not get shots from underneath, and me have nothing on my hands to protect myself and not move. It's not going to happen. So, you know, unless he changes his tactics in this fight, I can only see me winning.
Moving on to another subject, a controversial subject perhaps. Mark Navarro. What's the score with Mark? I interviewed him a couple of times, and he always came across as, you know, fairly respectful, but he just seems to antagonise people in BKB. Would it be fair to say?
I just don't think he come into the BKB scene with much of a good attitude. I think he was very, very negative and very offensive straight away, and I just don't think it carried very well with him. You know, a lot of the guys in BKB are originally, I mean, I'd only been in and fought once before he came along, and my fight was with Johnny Lawson. I was very respectful towards him, and I know that's the sort of game that I want to be involved in, and BKB kind of, you know, it shows that. You know, it's paramount in this sport that we're in now, because we're paving the way for future fighters, and Mark had none of this. He's only got sympathy for himself. He tells people how he's won the fight when he's not won the fight. I don't think he won a round since he fought Johnny Lawson, and I think that fight was quite questionable as well. So, you know, the guy was doing himself no favours by giving excuses and whinging and whining and moaning. I think, well, you've got to move on. You know, we've all been beaten. So, you know, even Jimmy Sweeney's been beaten. This is his second time, and I'm sure he's going to come back stronger. Don't whinge about it. Don't go on social media and tell people how things should have been different and how you should have been different and how you still think you won. And that's Mark Navarro for you in a nutshell. You know, he's just a very, very bitter, disgruntled man.
How big an upset do you think Jimmy Sweeney getting beaten was, and how do you think that will impact BKB? So it's probably it's upset things a little bit because things are in place, and also
yes, I think it was wrong to put them things in place before the fight had actually happened. You know, before the fight had even started to put them things in place. I'm just going to set off, but we're still talking. I think them things being put in place was a bit premature, really. I think the fight was 50-50, regardless of Jimmy's previous record. I do believe that Ricardo, being a bigger guy with a longer reach, might not have had as much boxing experience, but as soon as he landed some of them big shots, you know, they were always going to cause damage. It's just a matter of how much damage Jimmy could continue with, and you know, if he could capitalise on them knockdowns, which he nearly did. But Franco's a strong kid, and he's obviously proved a point there that, you know, even the best can be beaten. And now Franco's the one that everyone's looking at, and I think that's right. You know, it's good to see that there's a bit of a change of wind. So yeah, I think it's good for BKB. I think it's good for BKB because, you know, there's different fights to be made now for Jimmy and for other people coming in.
I've been asked to ask you now. There's been comments left. What do you think of a fight between James Lilly and Tyler Goodjohn? What's your opinions?
I think that'd be a great fight. I think that's the fight that makes sense. But from what I've been told, they're trying to get Beretta Edgar back in for another title fight, and I just don't see how that's fair, really. I think he should come back in and fight someone else and then make his way up. I don't see how he gets the title fight first shot, comes back in. I mean, this is much my opinion, but my opinion, you know, is able to be listened to and viewed. And I will say that I think for him to come back in and fight again for a title straight away it doesn't make sense. I think the guys that are in there working their asses off and getting these fights won to get the shot at the title should be given the shot first.
Yeah.
And I think there's many people out there who will agree with me. There's a few people that won't, but, you know, they're entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, I guess playing devil's advocate a little bit. I guess you could argue that they just want to make the biggest fights out there with the biggest names. I suppose you could argue that. And there is a business commercial value to certain. It's the limit.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I just went into a dead spot. Yeah, I just don't think that coming in to the sport and getting a shot and then having like a 4, 5, 6 month layoff and then coming back in for another title shot, I just don't think it's it doesn't look good for the sport. It kind of damages the integrity. But, you know, once again, you know, I mean, my opinions might get me into trouble, but, you know, everyone's got an opinion. I I mean, like I'm putting myself out there now because if I win this prize fight, I'd like to have a shot at either a title eliminator or a shot at the title, and why not? You know, there's people.
Do you think now as BKB gets bigger, and I mean every show gets bigger, and every time a BKB show takes place, you see the excitement on social media. Do you think as it gets bigger, it needs to be more clarity on the rankings and the ratings and how certain fights get put together? As
a fighter, it'd be nice, but as a fan, I think it'd be even better because they can see who's where, who's doing what. You know, what people's pasts are. It'd be nice. To have people's records put up so we can all see if they really are worthy of a title shot, or if they're worthy of a title eliminator, or you know. I just think it gives, like, once again, you know, there's more transparency on the fighters instead of people just wondering and guessing and maybe just fucking throwing it out there that certain people should maybe have a shot when really they shouldn't.
But on a positive note, just going to end it now because I'm guessing you're on the school run.
I am, mate. It's all right. It's just there. It don't come out for another 4 minutes, so we're good.
Just on a positive note, I mean, how excited are you? And I mean, just to be involved in the BKB, this exciting new sport that's creating so much excitement amongst fans of combat sports.
Brilliant, mate. It gave me a lease of life when it comes to fighting. You know, I'd stopped boxing a few years back. You know, when I was 30-year-old, and I'm 36, and I'm still cutting the shapes of the young ones, which is great. To be able to pave the way for new generations coming through for the BKB is brilliant. To be able to put a standard on it is even better. To be able to show people that we can all be right with each other, that we could, you know, can rub shoulders with each other just before the weigh-ins, and that we can talk to each other during and after the fights. I just think it shows a whole new level of sportsmanship, which is brilliant to be a part of. As for BKB in general, I think that, you know, they are doing a good job. There is things I'd like to see change, as we all would. You know, obviously I'm sure the bosses are working on these things that we all like to see change. And when they change, I'm sure the company will grow, you know, naturally. It'd be great to have some shows with over in America or in Thailand, as they said that might happen. That'd be absolutely brilliant. But I think, to be part of it in this right now at this moment in time is a very, very magical time for BKB, and I'm blessed to be a part of it. And how has your life changed in terms of reaction to the fans? Because I guess I know you had some unlicensed fights or white collar fights, should we say? But now you're fighting, and the whole of Britain is watching you, and of course all overseas as well. Once again, mate, it's just craziness. It's for it to happen and be like it is now is. I just feel like it just all come at once, and I suppose I've accepted it, and I do the best as what I can with what I'm doing. You know, I'm inspiring people, which is brilliant. I mean, doing the white collar scene was always good. I always enjoyed it. But doing this is, you know, it's on another level, and like I said, to be part of it is brilliant, and to be inspiring people is you know, I get these messages all the time, messages in my inbox, in my request inbox, saying, you know, I watched you, I didn't realise how old you were, I'm 33, I thought we're past it, I'm now in the gym again, and I'm pushing myself through all these boundaries that you're doing now, and I'm thinking, that's brilliant, it's great to hear. Even young kids getting them off the sofa and out of the house and going to the local gyms and training, it's magical to hear. So yeah, I'm buzzing over being able to do that. Okay, mate, I'll leave you get back to the school run now. Thanks for your time this afternoon. Apologies about trying to get the interview on Facebook. Just wouldn't work. No, it's Facebook's fault, mate. They should be apologising. They're terrible. So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. All the best. Cheers, mate. I'll talk to you again. Hopefully see you in January, mate. Thank you, buddy. Take care. All the best. Cheers, mate. All the best.